Hello, Year 8, and welcome back to another DT video with Mr. Sutton. I'm going to be going over what we'll have a look at today, and it's building on what we started off with, the renewable energy bits and pieces we did last week. We also touched on the idea of thermo and thermoset plastics, and also where plastic came from, the recyclability. Now, one of the things I want to look at is food and packaging waste, because this is something which is really damaging our planet. It's something that's constantly in the news. It's something that I've really noticed has increased. I really hate the fact that people just throw bottles down. Where I live is in the countryside, and then you can see where people pull over on the side of the road, not far from where I live, and they just sling bottles like this type of thing out the window. And of course, not only does it look horrible, but it is a terrible waste of resources. It has an impact on the environment and it damages the wildlife as well. So all of these things really have a negative impact. And there's something that I think, is really important for all of us to understand and to educate ourselves about. Now, just as before, I've got this video and it's up on YouTube. You can find out loads more information on my website, not my website, on YouTube channel, Mr. Sutton DT. There's loads and loads of different bits and pieces on there about different types of plastics. The list that we're going to be looking at is ecology and sustainability as a playlist. I will be linking to two key videos. One of them you can see at the top here, which is the life cycle of a bottle. And the second one is what really happens to the plastics you throw away, which is a great TED Talk one. And really it makes you think about waste plastic and how it is destroying and damaging our environment and how we really need to stop and start to think about recycling stuff. Now, the PowerPoint that I've gone over already talks about this, and we're going to focus particularly on these things. And for those hawk-eyed, you will recognise this one from the last bottle. Yes, I'm still drinking my water and making sure about it. But it really saddens me that so much plastic is used in food packaging. So as it says there, in today's modern society, food packaging is big business, massive business, millions and millions of pounds worth. Just about every item in food that we purchase from our supermarkets comes in some kind of packaging, usually made from a variety of plastics. Even such organically packaged products such as apples and other fruit come in synthetic packaging. Now, if we look at an apple, and I don't have one actually, I did hope I had one in my fruit dish, but I don't have any left. They've got a skin on the outside that is designed to protect the fruit. It doesn't need anything it doesn't need packaging. And then you've got this awful thing where you've got this packaging that has been used, where it's PET, again, similar to this water bottle type of plastic. It's been vacuum formed, so we know that it's a thermoplastic, and it has been used to package these organic things. So after those 5 apples have been taken out of their package and put into a fruit bowl, that's going to go in the bin. So it's taken millions, hundreds of millions of years for this stuff, this plastic, to appear in the supermarkets and then be used by you. And it's used for a few minutes to carry home from the supermarket, and then you just bung it in recycling, or even worse, it ends up in the bin and goes into the ground, or even worse than that, it'll end up being in our own environment. So it's a really, really bad thing. Yearly, plastics waste could circle the earth 4 times. Plastic outnumbers sea life in the sea 6 to 1. And if you watch the videos I'll talk about in a few minutes, it really brings home that terrible sort of waste that is. All sea turtle species have some form of plastic waste in their bodies, and 50% of all plastic used is only once. So this has got 25% of it is actually recycled, but so many of these bottles are made with 100% brand new plastic, and they are never used more than once. That they end up going into the ground, they end up getting buried, and what a waste. And only 1/3 of the UK plastic packaging is actually recycled. And that's not bad, but it could be so much better. It really should. And we need to make a move towards it. And really, it's educating people such as yourself so that in the future, you are going to be a little bit more mindful about the plastics that you use. Now, we talked about the different types of plastics last time, and this is an example of these SPI codes. These are all the different ones. There's 7 of them. 6 really that we know, the main ones, plus an other. And they are the different types of plastics that are widely recycled. So you've got a recycling bin, and that means that you can take the plastics such as this bottle here, and this has got 2 different types of plastics, polypropylene for the lid and PETE or PET number 1 for the main body. Now those are the different codes, and they will have these little strange symbols on them. Now they're sometimes printed on them, sometimes they're embossed on them, but just about every single product that is made out of plastic will have somewhere if it is recycled or not. And you can look at stuff around your own home. If you've got plastic bottles, if you've got cartons, if you've got toothpaste tubes, you will see that it's got this symbol, which is a triangle, which is made of arrows to show that it is recyclable, and a number, and sometimes also the definition like PETE, HDPE, or something like that. Now these are all, as we discovered, thermoplastics. The reason they're recyclable, thermosets are not recyclable, or a lot harder to recycle, because they cannot be reheated. Something like this bottle can be chopped up into tiny little bits, heated, and turned into more bottles or other stuff. So its life can be extended much longer than something which is a thermoplastic. And that is very important. Now, the task today is this. I want you to watch the 2 videos. They both follow plastic bottles. So many plastic bottles are used. You know it. You constantly have these around at school, at home. So that's the reason why I've chosen that as an example. By no means is it the only type of thing that needs to be recycled. Watch those 2 videos. Very, very important. Some really hard-hitting facts in there as well, especially about these gyres of horrible plastic that are floating around in the seas. Have a look at that one. And I want you to complete the table opposite with your observations on 3 bits of food packaging. Now, if you can't do this table, if you can't get this one, just make your own. You know, you can do it on paper, you can do it in Word, you can do it in PowerPoint, do it however you wish. And it does say a description or image of the packaging. I know it will be quite difficult to take photographs of things, so just a simple description is really, really easy. And I've done an example there of a plastic sandwich container, those standard sandwich containers. We all know them. Luckily, the ones in school, and most of them these days, tend to be made out of cardboard, which is obviously very recyclable, rather than plastic. This is made out of, what does it have an SBI code on it? What plastic is it? And you may be able to find it. PET for this one, which was SBI code 1. No code on the plastic film top. And that's the interesting thing, because sometimes manufacturers, and a lot of the time, you know, you get your microwavable meal. It's usually got like a polypropylene PP base to it, and then it has a film that you pull off. Now that film is not recyclable, and so it has to be removed. And I'm always very particular about making sure those films are removed. And alas, that goes into the bin. It can't be recycled, but the main body can be recycled. If those are kept together, it can't be recycled because it's been contaminated by that film. And it's a real shame that that is the case. But I want you to have a look at that. What is the plastic like? Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it clear? Is it coloured? Is it squidgy? Is it brittle? I want you to make those kinds of assumptions and look at it, squeeze it, give me something on there. And would the packaging be easy to recycle? Does it mix different types of plastic? So I had some steak the other night, and it went on the front and it said 70% recyclable plastic. But of course, what they'd done is they'd taken some paper, some cardboard, and then put plastic over the top of it, which meant that the plastic couldn't be recycled because it was stuck to card, and the card couldn't be recycled because it was stuck to the plastic. And that is one of the big problems, where different plastics are mixed together, it makes it harder. Either you physically have to take them apart, but if you can't take them apart, it's probably going to end up in landfill. And we all know that that's a bad thing. 3 different ones. Don't go through your bins rummaging around getting filthy. You can just simply go and find stuff that you've got around in your house. Milk bottles. Have a look at those. What type of plastic are they? Because if you look, be careful that the lid's on when you turn it upside down. But you will find the symbol. It's not made out of PETE. It's made out of something else. What is it made out of? Maybe you've got other things. If you've got a microwave meal, microwavable meals, they have to take the heat. And PET does not take the heat. So it's going to be made out of something else. What is it made out of? And there's bound to be something else that is hanging around, food packaging in your house. Please don't use your, I don't know, your remote control or your games controller. Not interested in that. It's food ones that I want to know about. And is it recyclable? Second task, I've got a map here. If you've watched the video really, really well, you should be able to tell us where the plastic gyres are in the world and which one is the largest. Now you can either write that one down if you can remember the different oceans where they are and which one is the biggest, or if you want you can print this map out and circle it, whatever you like. Now both of these can be put into a PowerPoint and uploaded. You could do it written out longhand and take a photograph of it. You could do it as a Word document, whichever suits you. Perfectly happy. Who knows, maybe you've even got a video that you could upload for it. That might be going a little bit too far. All right then, Year 8. Simple and straightforward. The next lesson, we're going to be doing a quiz. I'm going to be setting a quiz to see how well you've taken in all the information that we've done over the last 2 weeks. So we've had loads of stuff about thermoplastics, thermosetting, SPI codes, different types of plastics, recyclability, reusable and non-reusable plastics, and different energy sources. Those are all going to be in the quiz. So you're going to have a quiz for the next one, and we'll see who does really well. We'll test your knowledge. Okay, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.